The Manawa Kura Kai program was different than any other we had used before because it incorporated our local curriculum, and local curriculum involves getting students engaged, knowing about what is happening in their community. So it was great to use recipes like the kumara recipe, which linked to our kaupapa at school.
I liked trying something new in cooking kumara because I've never cooked kumara before or anything like it.
We learned about the moon phases and how the moon can affect your energy. When you're high energy, you'll have motivation to make more food, and you can prepare for the days where you have low energy, so then you can just eat the food you've already prepared.
So a lot of teachers are really interested in delivering nutrition and kai sessions to their students, but they just don't know where to start. So it's just about giving them lots of different ideas, and so that they have the confidence to be able to deliver these sessions, because they're actually quite simple messages that we can get across through some really fun activities as well.
So it's through conversation, it's through practical activities, doing it like actually cooking with them. It's a hands-on approach, finding out what our tamariki know and then implementing new knowledge for our tamariki rather than having all these charts that tend to be left on the side. So it's an experience that our tamariki can hold on to. I think it's having sovereignty over our own kai, and I think I'm a big believer in our tamariki. If they're growing it and they're part of the process of kai, they'll be inclined to eat it. And we've already seen those results with our tamariki who never ate greens, grew the greens, started to eat them.
This is certainly a way better approach than coming in with 10 bags and showing us how much sugar is in each of these containers and why we shouldn't be drinking them. The opportunity for them to explore through making, and then they can draw their own conclusions by the test tasting afterwards.
Ko te mea tino whai kia rātou i ngā tamariki ko te beetroot. Yeah, I do some cooking with my nan. My favourite part is just learning how to cook, so when I'm older I can cook for my nan and that, or like I can cook a Christmas dinner.
So a lot of the kai that they've been introduced to or they've had worked alongside Koka Shaila with, it's stuff that is easily accessible within their own pantries and out of their gardens. So that was the good thing, is that the fruit, the vegetables that they prepared were all kai that's not something that's hard to access for our tamariki living on the coast.
It was pretty easy. Probably I will make it at home with my parents.
Making smoothies is quite fun. I might make some by myself. I don't have a thing, so I guess I just make it by chopping them and then stamp them up like that.
So actually with this Manawa Kura project, it actually fills that gap from the hunting and the eating to they actually get to prepare it, because I'd say probably most of them at home, they'll do the hunting, then mum will do the cooking and then they eat it. So yeah, it's kind of filled that gap in for them where they actually know how to prepare a steak, you know, venison steak, or smoke a eel, smoke a fish, stuff like that.
I think that's a huge thing, having that hononga between school and home. But the hunting, the gathering, the kai moana, all of those kind of skills, it's one of the big questions I ask my whānau at the start of the year. What are your strengths as a whānau? And I suppose that's a way for us to tie in how can we all contribute to the learning of our tamariki.
On a bigger scale, marae are even looking at better approaches to kai. They're offering nutritious platters. You're seeing it nowadays, you know. Communities are trying really hard, but certainly everybody just wants to be healthier, wants to be better, wants to try hard, I guess, to encourage people to eat nutritious kai.
I think a massive part of our role is actually trying to preserve that innate ability that we have with kai and eating, and really going on the inside and listening to our body and what foods feel good for both the body and the mind.
We're trying to put kai on the same level as physical activity. We don't want to be putting just physical activity out there as part of healthy active learning. We want to recognise that kai is just as vital to our holistic well-being as physical activity is.
We want our tamariki to be eating healthy, and we know that when it comes to eating healthy, it also helps with the cognitive learning of the brain. So that's a push within our kura, is to encourage our tamariki to eat healthy.
I think it's really important for our students to learn about nutrition and well-being as part of their education, because it's part of being healthy, active living, and if they're not getting it at home or community groups, then school is a good place to encourage that.